Good evening, everybody, and welcome back again with another live show. It is the match review and player ratings from yesterday's 1-0 victory against Chelsea at home at St James's Park. Yes, on to 30 points, third in the league for Christmas. As well, what a time it is to be a Newcastle United fan as well. I have got Tony with us, and I'm just waiting for John, which I'll get him in when he is ready. So, there you are. Well, if you do enjoy it tonight, guys, please, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you're new or if you join the content and you're not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It is really helped grow on the channel. Definitely hit the notification bell because we'll let you know of any live shows or any video that's been uploaded as well. Feel free to donate. We do have Super Chat available. And, of course, feel free to become a member for just 99p a month as well. And here he is. Just in time. Right then, let's get started. Of course, John, we were there yesterday and we absolutely really took that game to a very poor Chelsea team yesterday.
Absolutely. Good evening to you guys in the chat as well. Yeah, I think you dominated. Absolutely dominated. I mean, look, go back a couple of seasons ago, right? I mean, under Steve Bruce, it was like watching a Steve Bruce managing Chelsea, right? Just defend. Happy to soak it up and try to stand the counter. I think Chelsea did that well yesterday, to be fair. I mean, that's the worst Chelsea team I have seen in the years. The midfield, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. There's 3 players I take, right, from Chelsea, yeah, 3. And that is Thiago Silva, he's 38 years old. Reece James didn't play yesterday, right? And maybe it's Mason Mount, but he was poor yesterday, very poor. And N'Golo Kante, right, look, he's alongside 30 now, yeah? But Graham Potter's got a big job on his hands, do you know what I mean, to take this club forward, do you know what I mean? Whether you get that chance, I don't know. But for me personally, I don't think it's Graham Potter. I think it's the players. They're divided. Chelsea players, right? All right, let's be real, right? They're divided. They don't want to play for Potter. Some do, some don't. Yeah? They think, he's English. We want a foreign manager coming in, sort of thing. They're a poor team, Chelsea. Yeah? I mean, Kai Havertz, right? I mean, let's be real, all right? The guy is a complete and utter prick. He really is. Excuse me, French. I know I shouldn't swear on your channel. I think that's poor. But I'm going to say that because he is, right? Try to take on Dan Burn again, right? Apparently, right? They both got history, by the way. I get that. But Havertz is a disgrace, right? Couldn't take losing. Couldn't take it. No wonder he didn't start yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I think if he had played, I think he would have got sent off. I really do. But Newcastle, let's not take away from Newcastle. I thought we were magnificent yesterday. I mean, you had more of the ball. I thought you were better. I thought you passed the ball crisply, you know. But at times, the final ball was really let down. I thought Bruno, especially I love him, it wasn't the greatest of games yesterday. I didn't think he had a great game yesterday because I think his final balls let down. And you know what I mean? I thought he was lucky not to, not to get booked at times. I thought the back four was outstanding again. We knew how to defend properly. Nick Pope made a cracking save again from Gallagher, right? Joe Linton again, outstanding. I thought Joe Willock ran the show. And for me, Miggy did a good assist when he took on Koulibaly, who is still not handling the Premier League just yet. Mm-hmm. But and up front, Chris Wood, he runs around, good at pressing, but for me, we're just not playing to his strengths, and that's the thing. But Eddie Howe got a spot on yet again. His tactics, got it right. We deserve to win that game. Cracking goal by Joe Willock. Good work from Miggy. And Joe with a curling shot on the top corner. Mendy, absolutely no chance whatsoever. Nick Pope had a decent save before that goal. And I tell you what, right, let's be real. 3 points, third place, going into the World Cup. What can I say? I mean, did anyone have thought that Newcastle was going to get to the top 3 before the World Cup? Because I certainly didn't.
Absolutely not.
I was happy finishing 10th, right? 10th at the end of the season with a trophy, possible trophy in a good cut run. Yeah, but these people now, the Saudis, before I put on the Tony, right, now I can rabble it on, I think you're going to get a couple more players in for January and keep that momentum going because they didn't expect us to be in this position. None of us didn't until today. And I tell you something now, right? Get Maddison in. Get 1 or 2 players coming in just keep momentum going and we can push on for the title. Whether we're going to win it, I don't think so. But look, you just never know. But Joe Willock, big up to Joe Willock, that guy, he can make a difference.
Absolutely. I think we've also got to say before the game as well, John, there was a slight protest, or could you call it even a protest, where there was some of our fan base who were protesting against the ownership about sports washing. I mean, that didn't look like a protest to me. And those aren't really Newcastle fans, by the way. If those aren't really Newcastle fans, if they are, do you want Mike Ashley back or something at this rate?
You know what it is, right? You just said it there, Pete. That's not a protest. You're going to do a protest. Do it well. Don't talk about it. Back it up. But that wasn't a protest. And if it was, they're not Newcastle fans. We don't care about them as well. All we care about is Newcastle United and our football team to go out there and win the game. You know, what happens inside the stadium, we don't want them there. Outside, they do what they want. But we're not going to let them what's going on this season, let's be real. And by the way, some of our Pepper journalists, such as Simon Johnson's at it again, right? Which I should show depends on me, sure. I don't know if you saw it, right? He saying that doing a lap on, have you won? It's the season end already. How about Simon Johnson, right? Look at your team and go not walking off the pitch without acknowledging your fans, right? Your fans who came a long, long way. Someone out on the coach, and none of those players clapped to their fans. Has he not mentioned this? No, he hasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So he should keep his mouth shut. Keep his mouth shut, right? Keep his nose out of our business and concentrate on Chelsea's business. He's a Chelsea fan. What do you expect? And we're Athletic. What do you expect? No wonder Neil Custard's having a go at the people who work for the Fulham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. David says, really enjoyed the match last night. We really played well. We battered Chelsea the whole game. We certainly did, Tony. We did play them off the park from start to finish.
Yeah, we did, absolutely. And at the end of it was 51% possession to Chelsea and 49% to us. But we were the better team. When I saw that lineup, I thought, what a weak lineup. Willie, this is a great game to win now. So I couldn't believe when I saw Havertz and Aubameyang on the bench, even though I don't really rate Aubameyang now because I think
I don't rate Havertz as a player as well. I think he's been...
No, I don't. No. I can't stand the bloke anyway, Havertz, after last season especially. I just don't know why Chelsea paid 75 million for him. That's a hell of a lot of money for a player who doesn't get you a lot of goals in return. But yeah, overall, I thought we played well. We controlled the game, especially the first half. Willock ran at them. He got in the box, and Azpilicueta nearly fouled him in the box. Just luckily enough, he didn't, or else we would have had a penalty for that. But yeah, Joe Willock's getting better. The whole team played well. Pope not having a lot to do, but then called it in action with Conor Gallagher, to save. Even though the Sky commentary team said, oh, no, it wasn't a great save. It was just routine because he was on his way. Well, sorry, but no. He still has to get there and get that ball and tip it around the corner. Yep. So I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's still a great save in my eyes. But I thought overall, as a team, we played really, really well. Trippier part of the passing that went down to Almiron eventually. And then when it went to Almiron, as he headed it over Koulibaly, who again is a poor defender. And as he was carrying the ball, it just fell into Joe Willock's path. And Joe Willock didn't put his laces through it. He just curled it beautifully, placed it, sweet as a nut, past Mendy. Mendy had no chance. 1-0 Newcastle. Good night, Chelsea. Because I wasn't thinking that they were going to get an equaliser. Then we're close to one, maybe. But they might have got close to an equaliser with Havertz. But after that, they didn't really threaten. Lascelles, nice bit of shithousery from Lascelles, by the way. I'll probably give him a 10 for that because, just to try and delay Cucurella taking a quick throw, and then because Cucurella complained, the referee give Lascelles the yellow card.
He did.
So nice little bit of shithousery from Lascelles there. And it's about time we started being shithouses to these teams in the Big Six because How many times in the past have they been like that to us? So it's payback time. It's karma. Karma's a bitch, and it comes back to bite you in the backside, and it's certainly starting to bite some of these teams in the backside now.
It does.
And then because Potter's now at Chelsea and thinks because he's now at a big club that's won trophies galore, he's now turned into the same mind as Mr. Jurgen Klopp. He now, and the Conte, an Italian man in Conte, and saying that, oh well, do you wonder why Newcastle are at the top end of the table because only playing one game a week, we play 3 a week? Oh, sorry, Graham Potter. What a bloody shame you play 3 games a week. You should be happier in the Champions League. And if you're a manager coming out and saying that, then that just shows you how ambitious you are as a manager. And so overall, I think, no, we did well. And the worst player on the pitch was the referee. Absolutely terrible that referee was. Robert Jones, Premier League need to get rid. He's not a Premier League referee by any standards. And I thought the linesmen weren't very good either, to be fair.
No, they weren't.
How they can give an offside against Trippier when he was played onside is like beyond me. So, yeah, all in all, but no, we got the 3 points. We're sit third. We're third at Christmas. And, Merry Christmas to the Premier League now because we're there. And
yes.
We're only 2 points off City now. And, but going back to the protest as well before finally I hand back to you, Pete, sorry. Sorry, I'm going on a bit. But the protest, I mean, I mentioned this yesterday on my warm-up show, and I said, I don't see the point of it. But I did say, at the time when I was live, I said, if any Newcastle fans are watching my show at this time, I said, all I want to do is just say to you, please, please do not interact with these people. Do not get involved, because if you give them any sort of hassle, that's what they want to see. That's what they want. And if you don't lower yourself to their level, then they're not going to like it. If you ignore them and walk past them, they will absolutely hate that, because it's once you start giving them verbals and things like that, that's when you go down to their level. So
where's this two?
Above, and we need to keep above their level. Don't stoop to their levels at all.
Yeah.
And by some things, I don't think they've probably got any hassle. And to be fair, they aren't Newcastle fans. They're probably from Amnesty International, if I'm honest, and John and Pete. And a pointless protest, absolute disgraceful. And I know we've got a freedom in this country where democracy, you can protest and things like that, but it's not going to get rid of the owners. And we're the lads. We're in the top 3. I'm not going to say we're title contenders. I know we're close to it, but I don't want to squash everybody's hopes. But we won't win the title. I still believe Man City will win the league. I quite believe they will. I don't think Arsenal will stay the course, but I think Man City will overturn them, win the league. And if we finish 7th, that's still success for me, and a Carabao Cup win as well.
Absolutely, yes, definitely. Hi, guys. How are you doing? This is Philip. I'm still delighted from that brilliant win last night. We still are, man. We definitely still are. That's the main thing. And David says, and there was fights after the game. Yeah, let's get back onto him. I mean, Tony, this bloke is an absolute arsehole, a dickhead. Or Paul even said to me yesterday, he was a first-class CUNT.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, totally agree with Paul as well. I mean, Paul don't mince his words anyway, does he, our Paul? So, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, at the end of the game, he started fighting with Dan Burn and then got everybody else involved. And, I mean, they were a disgrace at the end of that game, Chelsea. And I hope the FA are reviewing this video and the end of that game and see that how much Chelsea were the instigators in what happened last night. And I'll tell you what, that coach is lucky Dan Burn didn't knock his head off, because why is he getting involved to coach? Why is he going up to Dan Burn and having a go at him? I mean, does he want himself punched in the face or something? Because that's what, Dan would have hit him, he would have knocked him out, clean out.
I mean, I think Chelsea could be charged for failing to control the players, because that was not controlling the players at the end of the whistle. I mean,
no, and Sorry, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Havertz, not just an arsehole, but a bit of a sore loser as well.
He is, absolutely. And, you know, he didn't like it. And that was karma for what they did to us down at Stamford Bridge, because he should have been sent off for the elbow on Burn, and then he wouldn't have scored that goal. And we should have had a penalty when Murphy was fouled in that area as well. And I think that was Shalabar as well, if I remember. And so at the end of the day, this is payback. These big six are now getting payback from Newcastle for all the years of misery you've caused us. This is payback, and get used to it, because it's going to happen on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
What's that, Tony?
Absolutely. Eddie Howe, what a phenomenal job he has done in a space of a year. Absolutely. Just been so good. These so-called protesters were not Newcastle fans. Definitely not. Joe Willock getting better and better. Each game showing the kind of form when he first came. Stunning goal. I mean, that was just class there, John. Link-up play between him and Miggy was just amazing. And Willock just does the rest. Whack. Past Mendy, who had no chance of saving that. He gets better and better every game for me now.
Absolutely. That's 2 goals and 2. And this is the Joe Willock that we know. This is the Joe Willock who we used to be seeing, yeah. And you know what it is, right? If he keeps doing that sort of thing, this guy can make a difference getting into the top 4 of the season. I really do. What he's done, he works hard. Under pressure, when he gets the ball, he has like 4 players around him, and he gets out of it every single time. This guy is such a cool customer when he gets that ball as well. Okay, that he was unlucky with an assist when the cross come in, which just missed as well. But look, the goal against was fantastic. It really, really was. Who was picking up Joe Willock, by the way, for Chelsea? No one did pick him up, by the way. But who cares? Because you know why? Because he got us a goal that wins us the game. We got to Miggy for the assist, by the way. Took on Koulibaly, right? And it got past him with these, by the way. I don't normally say that when you face him, right? But look, what can I say? There's a goal. He deserves a goal. And the rest is history. Carry on, Joe. You're doing fantastic, mate.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it was picking him up there for that goal. I don't think anyone does. But again, the way he just struck that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, Tony, if more goals would have come from Joe Willock now, being that box-to-box midfielder that he normally is as well. He's going to get more goals now, the way he's just playing.
Yeah, Pete, I mean, I said this last week after the Southampton game, he got his goal. I said, you watch now. Now he's got his goal. He'll now go on a scoring spree. And while... yes, he got that last week, and he scored as well yesterday and got again. But he has to wait until Sunday before he can start his spree. So I hope when we come back Boxing Day, I hope he gets back on that scoring round, because I'll tell you now, if he goes on a scoring spree from December, he could be the difference in where we finish in the league. So,
yep.
But not only him being the difference, but remember, you got Isak to come back. But now this is the problem for Eddie. Where does Isak fit in now? Because if Wilson's playing well, and you've got Joe Linton playing on the left, J7, which J7 should really be centre midfield, if I'm honest. The only way I could see it is if Longstaff out the team, you put J7 back into centre midfield and you put Isak on the left, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not going to get past Miggy because Miggy's playing so well. So it's nice problems to have, and that's the sort of problems you want.
It's certainly. I mean, I think Joe Linton and Willock was kind of rotating on that side as well. I did see Willock go to the left-hand side a lot of the time as well. So bit of a swap. At times it was, so there you go. Philip says a myth that Ivan Toney isn't in the England squad, especially with his performance and the 2 goals yesterday. I mean, he made a point yesterday, John, in that game against Man City with 2 goals. And Gareth Southgate said he doesn't like he's going to pick him again.
I just heard this as well from Tony me on the last show we done on my channel, and if that is true, I think that's poor form from Southgate. But I wouldn't worry about it, Ivan, if you're listening, mate. But I think Southgate would be gone before Ivan Toney played for England again. I really do. But look, he scored twice yesterday. I think Southgate missed a trick there. I would have played Ivan Toney and Marcus Rashford, to be fair, because he can score goals. He's been on fire. He's been on form. But if I'm honest with you, right, I mean, for me personally, I think Ivan Toney's too attacking for Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate don't play attacking football anyway. And he's going to play him above Harry Kane anyway. Do you know what I mean? But again, he picks players not on form. Marcus Rashford's not been on form. Raheem Sterling's not on form. Ivan Toney is, do you know what I mean? But Callum Wilson's on form as well. But when you get at the game, I don't know. But listen, at the end of the day, right? I mean, we got to Ivan Toney. What a response. What a response for not getting picked.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. White Trout says, I'm Menacity International or a joke. Regular campaign for terrorists, says White Trout. Tony?
Well, he's not far wrong, is he? Because, I mean, you know, they're not really, everywhere they are, they're always against people. And, I mean, I know they've got these things, they're like these protests, but if they actually look into it properly, that PIF, and I keep repeating myself, PIF are totally separate from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
There is no link. They're a completely separate entity. That has been proven in a court of law. That was proven. Separation was proven. Because the Premier League wouldn't have allowed it if it wasn't. Yes, okay. Mohammed bin Salman is on the board. He's the chairman of PIF. Okay. And then you've got Yasser, who's the main guy who looks after things for them. But obviously, main guy is Mohammed bin Salman. Have you once seen Mohammed bin Salman getting into the club and start dictating? No. Who do you see? You see Yasser Al-Rumayyan. So I think these people from Amnesty need to really, if these are supposed to be well-educated people, and I say well-educated people, because to me they don't seem that very well-educated. Yes, they may have something against Saudi Arabia, but it's got nothing to do with PIF. If say, for instance, 10 people got executed in Saudi Arabia for crimes that they've done. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. What's that got to do with PIF? Nothing. That's the government of Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. You know, would the same be said about us if we still had the hanging and say we hung 10 people in one day? Would people then say to us, we're sports washing when we're buying clubs and things like that, British owners? So, you know, the same could go for America. Do you see, they're sports washing because in America, they've got the electric chair. They've got the lethal injection. I mean, I could go on. And, you know, the thing is, and it just does really bother me when people like that they don't really look into things. And if you look into things properly, that's when you make your mind up. But these people, like I say, they're supposed to be well-educated. Can't be that well-educated then.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I think you just nailed it there, Tony. Absolutely, have. White Trout says, look like little children. They couldn't handle getting scalped. Yeah, absolutely. Philip says, Chelsea, really poor. Kai Havertz, such a bastard. Or Bellend, that's supposed to say. Aubameyang just looks disinterested. Koulibaly, poor defender. Yeah, John, I don't think Koulibaly's done it for the Premier League this so far.
Oh, God. Even Maisie loves him as well, by the way. I don't.
No, she doesn't.
I mean, wow. All it is, listen, right? This is his first season of the Premier League. Okay, let's be real, yeah. But to put him worse than Titus Bramble, I'm sorry, that's disrespectful, man. You know what Titus Bamble's like, don't you?
I'm going to that comment. Yeah, I can say it.
That's a poor game. But you can't put him and Koulibaly in the same breath. Come on, you know what I mean? But look, at Koulibaly's not done it in the Premier League at the moment, yeah. But Graham Potter's down to Graham Potter to get the best out of this guy. I'm telling you, he needs to. And it's not just Koulibaly's that haven't been great, but most of those players at Chelsea have not been great at all. You know what I mean? And there's only a few. It's been alright. But Thiago Silva, I think he's been the best player this season. He really has.
I think there was only
Again.
about possibly a couple of Chelsea players that were okay.
Reece James.
Silva being one of them. And I thought that Hall was okay. That young lad they've gone in. I thought he wasn't too bad for them yesterday.
Yeah,
but the rest of them were just absolutely poor. Couldn't look like they couldn't be bothered. They just went up for the game. And you are.
Shocking.
Good evening, PD, Tony, John, and all. And Miggy made. There you go. Looks like Titus Bramble. I mean, I think Miggy just ran riot past him. Tony, he couldn't handle Miggy, could he?
He couldn't, no. And I mean, yeah. I mean, he did make Koulibaly look like Titus Shambles, because that's what we used to call him. Well, it wasn't just Titus, was it? Well, we used to call him Titus Shambles, didn't we, at times, you know? I mean, because he was a shambles. I mean, I'll give Bramble his credit, right? When he played well, he was a great defender. But that wasn't very often. Most often the time, lapses in concentration most of the time, you know? And then, and that's what cost us a lot. Because if you look back to when we signed him from Ipswich, he was absolutely outstanding for Ipswich. But he came to us and he just went off the boils. So I don't know what happened with him there. And he was the promising youngster at the time because Bobby Robson signed him. But obviously, it shows you how good Titus Shambles actually is, because he got sent off against us when he played for Sunderland, didn't he? So, and Koulibaly could be a mix between Titus Shambles and Jean-Alain Boumsong. You know, so I know John likes Koulibaly, right? Okay, so in Italy, Koulibaly is outstanding in Italy for Napoli, and he's been an outstanding defender for them.
Yeah,
but the Serie A is a totally different league to the Premier League. The Premier League is more fast-paced, and if you're not on your game, if you're not on it as a defender, you will get punished, and I mean severely punished. And Koulibaly got punished yesterday when Miggy headed that ball over him and then got onto it, and then that allowed Joe Willock to score. So yeah, Koulibaly in my eyes is he's probably on that trajectory of either being Titus Shambles or Jean-Alain Boumsong.
I like how he says. Yes, in a way. I like how he says, I think Eddie from Tyneside Life had a chat with the protesters, and the protesters had no clue what they were saying. I've not seen that video yet, but I will go and give that a watch. So, wow. But if they've had no clue what they're saying, then, well, that protest.
That's not a good look, isn't it? That's not a good look, Pete. It would not be a good look, man. It's not, because the bottom line is, right, you got to do a protest. You got to do it properly, man. If you don't do it properly, you got a real problem, man. And it's just funny, isn't it? It's really is funny, man, and crazy. But you're going to do a protest, do it well, or just don't bother.
That's it. Yep. And it was only like a few of them, not very little at all. It was. So that's what I'm going to say. Very contradictory statements from them. Yeah. Macy doesn't like Koulibaly. John says, I like coffee.
I know she doesn't. I know.
Yeah, he just hasn't cut it in the Premier League so far. That's the thing. So
that's
there
the
you
thing.
are. Yeah, I mean, but John, I mean, possible appeal for a penalty, but we've seen it back. It's not a penalty.
I think
he's got his hand to the floor. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. It just went straight to him, and he knew nothing about it as well. So looking back at it again, I think you guys are right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, hit his hand, but what can you do? What can you do about it? Because if I were like that, look at the player, hit his hand. What does he know about it? Nothing. It would have been quite harsh, but I think the referee, for once, got that decision right.
He did, yeah. That was the thing. The protesters told Eddie to speak to the organizer, who wasn't there apparently. Well, there you are. If an organizer wasn't there, God Almighty. I think that protest.
That's like having an orchestra without a conductor.
That's it. You said if you need to do a protest, you got to do it properly. Now think about it. Before we got our takeover, when we were doing protests in London to the Premier League, organised by Holly Blades, she was there down there. So she organised that. She was organised. Who went down there and it worked. Well, that one yesterday, God Almighty. Oh, God Almighty, yeah. Philip says Sean Longstaff surprisingly coming good recently. Absolutely, he's doing well now, Tony, which is what we like to see. We're seeing some consistency from Sean Longstaff now, which is good now because he was in for pelters a lot from like the likes of us a lot of the time, saying, "Oh, that injury suffered in Rafa's last season looks like finished him," but now we're seeing some consistency and good performances from him now.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. I mean, he's getting form that he showed when Rafa the club as manager.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've lost 2 years of your football life under a cabbage, then it's going to take a while for you to rediscover that form that you were in under the Spanish waiter. So, I know Pete's starting to laugh there, aren't you? But yeah, I mean, the guy I call a Spanish waiter, was a great manager for us, by the way. But it's just his nickname he gets. But yeah, he was great for Rafa, but it wasn't because he was poor under cabbage. It was just because the tactics, the dinosaur played dinosaur tactics. And dinosaur tactics are no longer part of this game now. The game's evolved since his tactics were out many, many moons ago. And, so he didn't keep up with the Joneses as such, did Steve Bruce I'm on about. So obviously Sean Longstaff's game deteriorated in obscurity, where he looked a terrible player. But to get that player back, it takes time and patience.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't work. You can't just click your fingers and say, right, you're going back to the player you were under Rafa, because it ain't going to work like that. But we're now starting to see a bit more consistency out of him. And again, it's all credit to Eddie Howe, because he's seen something in him. Something like his brother. We know he scored that winner against Man United. He scored against Man United again at Old Trafford. His career's gone that way now. And I don't think he'll be back to the club. I think he'll be gone next season because his contract runs out. But Sean Longstaff, I think, is gone from down there and is starting to go back up there. So, yeah, I'm pleased for Sean Longstaff because, why not? And if he gets back properly to the way he was under Rafa, we could see him start to score some of them good goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
And not to mention, it's good to see a local lad really starting to improve up on his game now, which is what we'd like to see.
Definitely.
Which is what you really want to see as well. So, there you are. John Bruno, not the best game yesterday, I've got to admit. Some of his passes were a little bit skew with and a little bit all over the place. But the rest of his game, you know what he's about.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't his greatest game, I can't lie. Passer wasn't crisp enough. I thought he's very, very lucky, not to get but he did that tackle late on. But listen, you can't have good games you can't have play well every game. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you can have an off day, sometimes you're gonna be off form. But we know what Bruno's all about. He's a great player. Maybe he just don't want to get an injury before the World Cup. He just want to take it easy and just play things simple. But at the end of the day,
possibly,
he's unlucky with that shot as well, which cleared off the line if that's him. But you know what it is, right? I like him. And
we all do. He maybe have still not gone over his penalty miss in the Carabao Cup as well a little bit. But yeah. We all love it.
It was a horrendous miss.
Oh, yes, I could believe that. I really could believe
horrendous miss.
Oh, but never mind. But Pope was the hero in that game, so what was
Exactly.
which got us through to the next round, definitely. Got to say, Tony, the back four just so exceptional as well. Just machines at the back is what they have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not a back four, it's back five, because I include Pope in that as well. So you got Pope, Trippier, Botman, Share, and Byrne. Byrne has took the left back by storm now. He's proven he can play there. It's why Target can't get back in the team. Target had an illness, was out. Burns took his place, and it's what I've been saying. When you get in that team, you're the person in possession of that shirt. So then you're going to say, right, if you want to take the shirt off my back, that's fair enough. You want my shirt, but you're not taking the shirt off my back easily, because I'm going to make sure I'm going to put in performance after performance after performance. So then you're going to have to sit on that bench and enjoy watching me play and enjoy my game. Unless their player gets a suspension or an injury, and then that player that steps up to take his place and puts in a great performance, then that player stays in and keeps the shirt. So that's the only way any of these players will fall off the team. The centre halves wise, I don't think we've got anything to worry about, because Lascelles ain't going to get the game time every week. So even if, say, Botman was out or Shaw was out, Lascelles would probably come in, but then be dropped as soon as they were for the game. So that, but more on the full backs. But we still need a full back cover for Trippier. I know I've got Manquillo, but to be honest, I don't think Manquillo's cutting it. So I'd rather we got somebody different. So we need to go out and get a back who can cover Trippier.
It was the cup game. He started Manquillo, and you could tell he'd been out of the game a long time. Pretty much, that was the thing. I thought Lascelles looked clueless with the ball, didn't know what to do with it at times. So, but it's glad we've got a back four that's hard to be broken, hard to be unlocked at times.
Just come back about Lascelles, right? I mean, go back in that team again. I think you've gone to somehow, in my opinion, because Eddie likes to play the ball out from the back. And if Lascelles do go, right, we could do another centre back as well by the name of Bruno Guimarães from Monaco. I would take this guy in a heartbeat. This guy, 6'4", he's a unit. Come for the ranks in Monaco, right? French under-20 international, just failed to make the cut for the World Cup. This guy, I tell you something now, whoever gets this guy, right, is going to get the new master decided, because this guy, he's quick, he can play the ball out from the back, he's a good passer at the ball, and he can defend for a young lad. If he's available, pay the money for this guy, because I think this guy's going to be absolutely amazing player.
I mean, you were talking about him as well, Tony, as well.
Who's that? Sorry,
the Bruno Guimarães, the Monaco.
Barry Shield. Yeah, I mean, he's a strong centre half. I mean, when we did a show the other week, Pete, I showed you a video on him, and I mean, he puts in some tremendous tackles, and he doesn't go out of his way to foul people in the box. He's pretty good in the penalty area. He'd probably cost about 40 million quid, but I'll tell you what, it'd be 40 million pound worth spent. That's for sure. He's a big unit, and it's not to say that I'm saying Shaw shouldn't be in the team, but it would be an eventual successor for Shaw, because Cher is at like 30 now. So,
30.
You might have Shaw for 2 or 3 seasons more, but then you've got Badiashile, who's 21. And, so you're going to want a younger player coming through to take over, because you don't want to be going out and buying another centre half that's like, say, coming up towards 30. So when Shaw is coming towards the end, you then replace him with somebody younger and with the same quality. And I think Badiashile and Botman would be one hell of a defence of unit, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. Shocker penalty miss
as well, guys, right?
Yeah.
Just quickly on back to Bruno Guimarães. I thought Badiashile, right? I tell you what, if you look at his appearance for Monaco, 105 appearances, 6 scores, right? This guy is only 21 years of age. and he won't be 22 until March. Fabian Schär will be 31 on December.
Yep, that's right. Absolutely. Shocking penalty miss midweek, probably the reason behind Bruno's sloppy display last night. Yeah, it could be a little bit. Getting some disturbance in the background. It's not too bad. Chris says, I had to laugh when the Everton players threw their shirts to the supporters after the game and they threw them back. I've seen that as well. It was Alex Iwobi who threw his shirt into the crowd and another player just threw it back. Must have thinking he had a stroking game, I thought, or must think.
Well,
why do you know what it is? Two wasted journeys. Two wasted journeys there, man. You know, they got beaten in the Carling Cup by 4-1, and he went back and saying for they're just glutton for punishment, and that's exactly what's happened. Frank Lampard, I think he'd be gone soon if he doesn't fix up. But that's not down him. I think it's the players.
Thing is, Pete, I mean, not being funny, but you want Alex Iwobi's shirt? I mean, you know, I mean, what do they expect? You know, he threw the shirt in the crowd and the fans threw it back and said, I don't want your bloody shirt. Your team's crap. Even Frank Lampard wasn't happy with that, apparently, and went over and remonstrated with the crowd as well. So if Frank Lampard's going to turn on his own fans, then he needs to be careful what he's doing because he sort of got ushered away, Lampard. So, you know, but I did say, I think I've done a show. Yeah, I've done a preview show, and I did put on some score predictions as well. And I did say Bournemouth would win against Everton 2-0 and they won 3-0 because I knew Everton wouldn't win at Bournemouth because Bournemouth's got that tiny little Vitality Stadium ground. And Everton, I still believe, will go down this season. They're one of my hot favourites to go down. And they were before the start when I was on John's show and said that was my bottom three. I mean, my bottom three was Bournemouth, Everton, Leeds. I think Bournemouth will have enough to stay up. Forest will stay up because Palace were poor yesterday. Looking at that game yesterday, it looked a very poor game. I mean, I think after like 50 minutes, they both had like 4 shots at goal, none on target. Shows you how crap that game really was. And Gibbs White only scored, and then obviously it was given the go-ahead on VAR as well. But yeah, I can see Everton dropping because I'll tell you now, Forest will get out of that.
Possibility, isn't it? Everton start to drop a little bit. I mean, of course, beaten by Leicester last week out the cup on Wednesday, or the other night it was. And of course, getting beaten 3-0 at Bournemouth yesterday as well. Just shows Lampard could be well under pressure again. He could well be. Philip says Byrne will fiddle in the centre-back role if Botman or Schär are injured with Target at left-back. That I kind of agree with that because I think Lascelles is just way down the pecking order now for me now. He's only been getting selected in the cup games pretty much, so they are. Paul, oi, lads, hope you well, Paul. Don't think Lampard has long left. He looked totally deflated in the post-match interview. I've not seen it yet, to be honest, so I'll have to have a look at that. I had a 9-fold acre on. They all came in. Bar Palace, Zaha, Mr. Penn too. I was fuming out of all them. Forest done me. Interesting. I like how he says, I read that James Milner came on for his 600 Premier League appearance. James Milner and Johnny Hayes both played for the same manager, Sir Bobby Robson. Johnny Hayes was born in 1934.
Gosh.
Wow.
So there, absolutely, there you are. I mean, you were going on about Potter again, Tony, with his comments. I mean, you can't be saying that because they play one game a week. Well, sorry, Potter, you've got a Chelsea. You're in the Champions League with them, so you're going to have to get used to it now. Which is all I can say. I mean, just to come out with that, it's like, oh my God.
Nah, Pete, I think because he's got that mentality now, he thinks because he's at a bigger club now that he can be in the big man's league and, you know, do a Mr. Teeth or, you know, because that man is full of excuses. The man is full of excuses. And he's in the same mold as Conte now. Or I could say something else but about Conte, but yeah. Take you out and put a U there, but yeah. But Conte said, "Oh, Well, we lost against Newcastle because we played 3 games in a week. Yeah. And Mr. Conte, so did we. And how many points did we get out with them? Oh, yeah, 7 points, didn't we? Yeah, because we drew a Man U, beat Everton and beat Spurs. So, yeah, we got 7 points. And did it affect our players? No.
No, it didn't.
So you shouldn't be looking for excuses like that. And then Potter saying, oh, well, we play 1 game a week and they play 3 games a week. Right, okay, Graham. So your team's in the Champions League. So you're going to play Wednesday games. You're playing Saturday games because obviously, but you're not playing 3 games a week because you're only actually playing 2 because you're only playing on the Wednesday. Yeah, okay, you could say week because you can say from the following Saturday to the Saturday. But if you wanted to say it in the same week, you're actually playing 2 games in the same week, technically, if you want to get technical on that one. But what I would say is there's a reason why all these games are being played in such a hurry. Because FIFA and Septic Blatter, and I call him Septic Blatter because that's what he is, decided, oh, I'll tell you what, give me the brown envelope. Qatar passed him a brown envelope and he thought, counted the money. Oh, what could I buy with this? Oh, yeah, I know what I can buy. Yeah. Okay, Qatar, don't worry about that. That's going straight in my back pocket and I'll be spending that shortly on a flash new car or whatever he got with it. So he probably thought, right, I'm going straight down the Lamborghini shop because I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini. Right. And so that's why we've ended up with a World Cup in the middle of a season, which I don't agree with. I think it's an absolute joke. And then Septic Blatter's got the cheek to come out last week and say, oh, by the way, the World Cup should never have went to Qatar. No, because you've just spent the bloody money they give you. That's why you bought whatever you wanted with your money. You and Michel Platini, the 2 years, are corrupt.
Yeah, absolutely. They are, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. Even Paul says, excited for the World Cup, or would you rather if Newcastle could carry on? Newcastle carry on for me all day long. I've been this less excited for this year's World Cup because, again, I don't know why it's in the middle of a football season already. I've got to admit. And 2, I can't see England winning it.
Waste the time.
No,
Waste the time. Big
Honestly,
desperate nation.
I cannot see England winning this tournament. I don't think we'll get to the final. We got the final in the Euros. We got the semi-final in 2018. We'd be lucky to get there, just the way this England squad has been playing lately. It's been tosh, particularly in this UEFA Nations League. We were an absolute abysmal. We got relegated from there into the B League now. And would you say, Tony, that you've been this less excited for a World Cup?
Absolutely, Pete. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't excite me. I mean, yes, I'll watch the England games and I might watch a couple of others like Brazil or whatever, and maybe Australia games because I want to see how Garang Kwal gets on. But I might watch a few games because I might start writing up my shopping list and having a look who, oh, yes, he'll be all right for us. And, oh, no, I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't touch it. Oh, I'll take him. Yeah, he's all right. And, yeah, so, I mean, there's always a player that comes up in the World Cup that looks outstanding. I tell you who could be an outstanding player in the World Cup, and because I rate this guy really, really highly as well. And is he 21, 22 now? And the guy that I think could light up this World Cup, and he's not English, he's not Welsh, he ain't Argentinian, he's Brazilian, and his name is Vinny Jr.
I tell you what, though, that guy has come a long way. I mean, look, let's be real, right? I think he's going to be exciting.
I love him.
He's so excited for Real Madrid. I tell you what, though, he want 500 million. It's going to take $1 billion to price away from Madrid.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
going to take a lot of money.
It's $1 billion to price them away.
Absolutely. Potter said the same yesterday about the one game yet. We've played 6 games in 2 weeks. Absolutely. And Chris says, I think someone bought Potter the Jurgen Klopp book of excuses for an early Christmas present. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with
Brilliant.
that.
Brilliant, Chris.
Again, get the Klopp coming in, jokes coming in. Not to mention we had loads of funny lookalikes on Friday night as well. So, honestly, I'm just not excited in the slightest for this World Cup, mate. Not sure what's going on with me. Just doesn't feel that right at all. Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it why it's in the middle of a current football season as well. So, yeah, Ashton's in the house. Sorry, lads. How's it going? Very well. Thanks. Hope you're well. Rice said that would be good enough, but they score loads in training, though. That means nothing unless you're producing it out on the pitch. And England, for me, in the past few games, have been absolutely well below par.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, yes, 4 years ago we got the semi-final. In all honesty, we should have beat Croatia. We went 1-0 up through Trippier. We had chances in that first half to put that game to bed. Had Kane and Sterling took any of those chances, and we were 2 or 3-0 up by half time. I don't think Croatia would have come back. But again, we lacked the intensity, we lacked attacking flow in football. And Southgate went too defensive in the second half, try and keep it 1-0, just win the game. And it turned out we lost the game 2-1. Croatia scored, and then again in extra time. Because again, in extra time, Southgate tried to play defensive to try and take the penalties and win on a penalty shootout. So, all in all, we should have been in the World Cup final against France. Whether we would have beat France is another question, but we would have been in that World Cup final. Euro final, we go 1-0 up against Italy with an early goal from Luke Shaw and a terrific goal from Luke Shaw. Can't take anything away from him for that goal. I mean, it was a great goal. Fastest goal in the Euro final as well. Again, we had control of that game, but instead of going for it, we sat back and invited the pressure on. It equalised. We lost it on penalties. So, because Gareth Southgate to say throw young lads up there and take the penalties instead of the more experienced heads. I mean, if there was one person I was really nervous about taking the penalty, it was when Harry Maguire stepped up and I thought, oh my God, this is going to go over the bar. But I'll tell you what, he hit that with some power and that went into the back of the net with a plumber. Now he took the net off, didn't it? So, I mean, I'm surprised the net didn't come off, if I'm honest. But, again, another trophy that we've lost out on. So Southgate needs to play attacking football because if he does, we'd win a lot more games. But the problem is we play too defensive, too conservative, and too pedestrian, and it's not good enough.
Yes, that's what it has been. I mean, I just said it, the UEFA Nations League, John, we were a shambles in that. We were absolutely rubbish in all the games we played. We were awful.
We were shocking, absolutely shocking. Do you know what I mean? Look, getting beat off Hungary twice, especially at home, right? I mean,
4-0 as well.
There's a disgrace. That's unheard of for England. Getting beat by 4-0 at home. I tell you what, I'm glad I was in the World Cup playoffs because I tell you something, had it been the World Cup playoffs or Euro playoffs, we would have been embarrassed, and then Southgate would have lost his job big time. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, against Germany, I mean, let's be real. They showed up, but you see the poor goals, and everyone blamed the blame on Nick Pope. Yeah, but let's be real, right? I mean, we were shocking. I mean, again, these players, right? English players, right, are getting a lot of money for their clubs week in, week out, 150k a week, 200k a week, 300k a week, sort of thing. Yeah. And they cannot do it for their country. What's the flipping matter with them, man? I mean, look, do they care about England anymore? Do they care about the 3 lines on the jersey anymore? Do they really care? Are they bothered? They just bothered about playing in the Champions League or the Premier League. But I tell you something, you put the younger England players through, like under 21s, even through for the Championship, I tell you something, they would care. They would really care. But the ones who got the deer, or some of them, they don't care at all whatsoever. This is why we're never, ever going to win any trophies ever again. As long as I live. I'm 53. And I tell you what, I can't see us winning another pot. Not for this country.
Yeah. absolutely. I mean, yeah, none of us are really excited for this World Cup.
Sorry,
I'm
I'm
not
not
excited.
excited. To be fair.
I'm not that excited for England and World Cup, but if there's no club football on, might as well watch matches in the World Cup. Yeah, that's kind of a fair point as well. I reckon Brazil are going to be amazing to watch. Like, they're one of the favourites, definitely, as well. World Cup in November, absolute waste of time. Not too excited about it. Can see England only making it to the quarterfinals. Even Shearer said the same as well, apparently. Argentina still unbeaten going into this World Cup.
Can I stop you, Peter? Second, Argentina.
Yeah.
They got a cracking chance. They got a cracking chance of winning the thing. Yeah, they have got some good. They're going to do it for like little Messi this season. I really, truly believe that they have got some good players. So I'm not going to lie. I mean, Dybala, he's out injured in a minute, but he still makes the World Cup. And not only that as well, you got a player like Martinez is in there as well. You've got all these quality players. German Pezzella plays Sevilla as well. They're all playing in there sort of thing, and I think they're going to come very, very close. What's his name again? Alvarez as well is in the squad as well, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I had part talking about more games. Yeah, absolutely. Did not like the attitude of Havertz or Brozier yesterday. I said about Havertz, he's an absolute idiot. He's a dickhead. Just a bit of a sore loser for me yesterday, and it just had to kick off. It was weird how Croatia came out in extra time, looking like it was the first half with all that energy from an old team. Absolutely, yeah. Hope Botman's not injured from game when he hurt his ankle. Hopefully he's okay. Again, so that's kind of a good break for him to hopefully, if it's that Nations League was back to the old England, sideways and backwards passing, no link-up ideas up top whatsoever. It was just horrible to watch. In the last two tournaments, Southgate has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. This is his last chance. It's got to be his last chance, Tony. If we are poor in this tournament, it's out the door you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Southgate's gone if we don't play well in this tournament, and the pressure will be on if we lost that game against Iran. I'm not saying we should do, but if we did lose that game against Iran, he'd be under the cosh straight away. So he needs to go there and make sure we beat Iran convincingly. And then we've got the USA, and then we have Wales.
Yep.
And the last time we played Wales in a tournament was Euro 2016. We beat them 2-1 after Gareth Bale put them ahead. So, it's sort of like a derby, England-Wales. So, yeah. But if we get out that group as winners, and then whoever we play in the next round, he's got to get the quarters at least. If he doesn't get the quarters, I think he'll be out the door.
Yeah, I agree. This is a compliment from I Like Coffee for you, John. He said, I thought John was 30 years old. Oh!
Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. You may be DMBS, but I can assure you I'm 53. I was just 30, by the way, but I don't act 53. I just act like a repeating nurse, by the way. And you, Tony, I don't let me age at all whatsoever. I really don't. I really don't. And oh, gee, Pete, 20, oh, you 30, Pete, are you?
32, I am now.
32.
He's the youngster.
Yes.
Yes, isn't he?
Still the youngster. France, Brazil, Argentina, tough one to call for the World Cup, absolutely. He will be gone after this World Cup, we'll be looking to get to the quarters, possibly. Brazil v France will be awesome in the final, absolutely. I just hope if Kane isn't scoring, he gives Wilson a chance. The link-up play with Madison will be insane. Yeah, absolutely. Or the Dutchman squad, not including Botman there, the World Cup squad, no, he's not going to this one. So, but anyways, let's get on to the final part of the show. Player ratings time. It is. So let's get rattling through the players and let's rate them on their yesterday's performance. But I'll start it off this time with Nick Pope, and I'll give him an 8. He's not a lot to do, but I love that save he pulled off to stop Gallagher's shot from going in the back of the net. That was just a quality save. And to me, Pope should be England number 1 for this World Cup.
Should be, but we know who's going to be number one, and it ain't going to be Pope.
No, it's going to
That'll
be
be-
Little Arms.
Little Prickford.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, right, Tony, you're now kicking off next with Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, he had a great game yesterday. And I mean, this guy is just a true leader. Club captain once the cells goes through that exit door, and true leader. He lost the ball yesterday. He had the tenacity and pace to get back and get that ball back from Pulisic.
Yep.
And then he was involved in the goal as well. All round his performances are just absolutely fantastic. For a guy who's over 30-year-old, I mean, the way he runs about, you wouldn't think he was that old. They think he was in his 20s. Obviously, keeps himself very fit. Obviously, does it maybe he does a lot of training behind the scenes as well, out of training as well. You know, he may have his own gym at home. Who knows?
Yep.
But this guy does really, really well. So for me, Trippier gets a 9.
Yes, I agree with that, definitely. Southgate may call Paul for the penalty shootouts. Maybe, but I don't know. I think it's going to be...
Do a Van Gaal. Do you remember Van Gaal when he took Cillison off and brought Krull on against... And Krull saved 2 or 3 penalties in that game. And Cillison wasn't happy by getting taken off.
Tuchel for Chelsea, Carabao Cup last season. Takes Mendy off, puts Kepa in.
Yeah, didn't do it, did he? And it ended up being Liverpool's reserve, Kelleher, who scored the winning penalty. Because
it was.
The thing is, with Kelleher, the thing with Kelleher, who plays for Liverpool, which a lot of people don't realise, is he used to actually be a midfielder. So obviously, he can, if he's played outfield, he knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. And Kepa's ball, I think that went to the moon, didn't it? It was travelling, wasn't it? Like Halley's Comet.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, John, Mr. Fabian Schär.
Obvious, Sandy, yesterday. I mean, he took a nasty whack in the first or second minute, and then I thought third or worse. And then what he did after he did his job as well, he's been a rock since alongside Botman. And since he's part of Botman at the back, they have not lost a game because they defending properly and he just keep things simple. That's what's out of boot. He said after the game, he's struggling for words after the game, but let me tell you something, right? This guy's playing his best football of his career, defending well his career. He's going to be 31 in December, and that's why he's on a 2-year contract with us. And I'm going to give Fabian Schär, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he's been outstanding.
Fair play. You're not allowed to be in the Discord yet. Still not looked into it yet. Fabian Schär a 9, says Philip. Schär always gets a knock every game, but he's back up after it. And it's like he just gets on with the game as if he's forgotten all about it. So, right, I'll take that Rolls Royce at the back as well. Sven Botman, and I think it's got to be double figures. A 10 out of 10 for him, definitely. Shimmy had to come off, but other than that, his game was just superb for me yesterday. I'm really glad we got this lad into the football club. We really, really did. He's just been outstanding, immense, and look how he looks so much better at the back as well. It's got to be a 10 for Sven Botman. Okay, Tony. It's the Dan Burnett left back.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game. Solid enough. And then obviously when Botman went off, he went into centre defence. Dan Burn being Mr. Shithousery towards Kai Havertz as well. From the minute Havertz come on, I don't know if you noticed it, Pete, you might not. Well, you might have because you're on the Gallagher end where John might not have. But Dan Burn was in his ear straight away. As soon as he come on, straight in his ear, giving him verbals. And that continued through the game. I think that's why Havertz got upset at the end of the game. But obviously Burn was trying to mess with his head. And, you know, but that's what happens. And I thought Burn had a good game. I thought he was really good. Like I say, the shithousery towards Havertz, well done. Keep it up, lad. And I think that coach was a very lucky man to still be standing there, because if Burn had a clouted him, he'd have been on the deck knocked out. You know? So Burn gets a 9 from me.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, yes, I agree. Did very well. Very well indeed. Right, John, you could have. Who should I give next? You can take Mr. Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno, you know how much I love him. I didn't think he had a great game, but at the end of the day, sort of thing, right? I mean, we all love him, by the way. It's not the best, but the worst, well, I would say, just an okay game. Wasn't fantastic, wasn't poor, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, he didn't want to push himself out because of the World Cup. I get it. Yes, he's very lucky not to be booked for 10-10 attack on Pulisic. I thought he's very, very lucky that, by the way. I watched it back again. My God, he was very lucky. But at the end of the day, I thought he did what he had to do. I'm going to give him a 7, but don't do dishearten, Bruno. We love you. 7 out of 10.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Ashton says, how about you get a red card? It ends starting fights like that. You just don't need to do it. The game's over and done with. Just accept your team. Your team was poor. It was crap. And better team won. And that was us.
Exactly.
Share is shock proof, like a Swiss Rolex watch. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Ref was terrible when he gave out random cards. He did. But Phillips can be in a 9. Bruno 7 wasn't his best yesterday. Seemed frustrated. Yeah. Phillips gone for 5. Yeah, for Bruno as well. So they were right. Go on, Tony. You can take that man who scored the bell.
Joe Willock. Yeah, Joe Willock had another great game. Absolutely brilliant. Full of running, full of energy. Got down the flank, cutting the box in the first half, and obviously waiting for Azpilicueta. I was very close to fouling him in the box, which would have led to a penalty. And second half, again full of running. I think he was still running even when he was going to the bench. That's how much he was still going. And ran his heart out and done really well. Scored the goal, and a brilliant goal of that as well. So give us a 1-0 win against Chelsea. Willock for me is man of the match and a 10. And thanks very much, Joe. You've made not just my weekend, but 52,000 fans and everybody else around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. You just nailed it there, Tony. Willock a 9. That was a mid goal with Willock come out of nowhere. Thought Miggy was going to turn around and hit it himself. Let's go for a 10 for Joe Willock as well, right? It's back to me. I'll go with Longstaff. Final out of the 3, and I'm going to give Longstaff an 8. I thought he did very well. He started to really improve on his performances, which is what we like to see. Local lad as well. And now we're seeing some consistency from him now, which is really, really good to see. I'm really, really pleased with that as well. And that's why I'll give Longstaff an 8. Okay, back to you, John. Let's go on to the attack on 3. We'll start off with that man there. Joe Linton.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like him. I mean, he had a brilliant game. Look, he's not getting enough credits, right? This season, Joe Linton, right? I mean, everyone's been every top players like Odegaard, Martinelli, De Bruyne. They're just not giving this guy any credit at all whatsoever this season. Let's be real, right? His technical ability is brilliant, right? He wins the ball back, right? Pressing from the front, wins the ball back, right? And I think he's disappointed not to make a Brazilian squad, but he will play the Copa America in 2024. So hopefully, if he counts on where he is, a Brazilian call-up won't be too far away. But yesterday, I thought he is excellent again. 10 out of 10 would be far-fetched. For me, I'm going to give him an 8. But don't get us wrong, I think he's been brilliant. I think he's been fantastic. 8 out of 10 for him.
Yep, that's fair enough. So Julian an 8. I give him a 10 because I thought he's just a machine in there for me. Trippier man of the match for me.
Yeah, he had a wonderful game. He had a wonderful game.
Marcel's yellow card is funny because he never plays. It was a funny one as well.
But he didn't even kick a bar, did he?
Yes, so there you are. Right, Tony. Mr. Biggie.
Again, full of running, Miggy was. Played really well. Set the goal up for, did he set the goal up for Joe Willock, or was he going to take the shot on himself and Willock just sneaked in and took it off him? But yeah, I thought he had a great game. Run his energy, his enthusiasm, absolutely brilliant. I give Miggy a 9.
Yep, absolutely agree. Definitely. No, he wouldn't. He wasn't going to score every game. That was the thing. But great yesterday, still great for me. Definitely. Right, final one. And that will be Chris Wood. Do you know what? He tried. He was really pressing at the goalkeeper, Mendy. We know that it's just the final part is the letdown when it's in terms of going for chances and the hold up play. But I liked him really when he was just trying to put Mendy under pressure, which is what I really like what Chris Wood was doing yesterday. But he is going to be down the pecking order when Isak's back fit. Yeah, that's the thing. But I'll give Chris Wood a 7. So there you go. Yeah, well, I'm up to my comments. Say the ref was a Scouser fan. Yes. Actually, did John watch your video after the game? Julian and Nate. Mason again. How was the journey from Craven Cottage? Klopp's special move. Klopp's special move is Klopp chops.
Klopp chops.
Miggy and 8. Yeah. Miggy Lee definitely set the ball up for Willock. He confused Koulibaly and Mendy. Yep. Andrew's in the house. Hello, lads. Wood 7, not terribly impressed. I can't see him staying, unfortunately. Don't think he fits too well. Nah, that's the thing with Chris Wood. That's the thing. So, yeah, well. Right, substitutions. Jacob Murphy, John.
He came on. He came on for anyway. He came on for not Jordan. He came on for someone,
Willock.
didn't he?
Willock.
Yeah, he did. Thank you. Yeah, for me, he didn't do a lot, did he? To be fair, so I'm going to give him straight down the middle 5. Didn't do a lot for me. Nothing contributed as well for me, so I'll give him 5.
Yeah, and the last substitution, Tony, was Matt Target, but again, not on with a lot of time.
No, he wasn't. No, so I give him a standard 5.
Yep, fair play again. Come right towards the end of the game. That was the thing. So there you are. Okay, I'll touch with the fans. 10 easily. An absolute 10 for the fans. You know what we're like on a match day. Atmosphere just keeps on going and going and going. And again, our fans are just going to be disappointed that we're not playing in action for quite a few weeks because of the World Cup. But we'll be back when we are back. The atmosphere will be roaring as it always is on a match day. 10 for the fans. Go on, John, the referee.
I'll give it. This referee is one of the worst I've seen this season. Yes, we won the game, but some of the decision making were poor. Okay, the penalty decision. Okay, we know it's not a penalty, but some of the decisions he's been making so frustrating. It really, really is. I think he lost control of the game in parts as well, by the way, especially at the end. But listen, I'm going to give the referee a 0 because that referee is absolutely shocking. And I can see why Arsenal fans, why they don't like this referee, because that referee blatantly denied a penalty when Jesus got brought down and he refused to give it and cost him a game. But I do not want to see this referee ever again, especially when it comes to us trying to either win a title or get a top 4.
Yeah, I've just realised I've missed a substitution, and that was Wilson. But yeah, probably 6. I mean, yeah, I'll probably just go 6 for Wilson. I forgot I missed him out. But yeah,
Callum Wilson.
Why, how did I forget him? I can't believe. Togasen Wilson a 5, Eddie 10, Fenn to the 5, fans a million. What about Longstaff, Takalog, Cucurella, and Lascelles as well? Aye, absolutely. I'm actually happy about the break that the players need a rest, getting a bit tired and playing a lot. Hopefully the break will do them good as well. Surely the worst referee is that Benfica one. I mean, he was a great ref. -10, making complaints about him. Could see being sacked for his behaviour if any UFC made a complaint. How 10 fans 10 ref 0 and Andrew 6. Right, final one, Tony. It's gotta be you know who.
Eddie Howe. Yeah, what a tremendous manager he actually is. 12 months with us. We've seen the progress made in that 12 months as well. It's been absolutely fantastic. If somebody had said to me last season, we would stay up and finish 11th place last season, I would have said, you know what, I don't believe you. I'll be happy with finishing 17th place just to stay in the Premier League. So to finish 11th was a huge achievement and absolute brilliant. And then this season, if somebody had said to me, by the World Cup break, we'll be sitting third, 30 points plus 18 goal difference, losing one game, I would have said, no, I don't think so. I would have just laughed at them. But do you know what? He's done absolutely fantastic. He's outwitting a lot of managers. And
He is.
Now managers are starting to see what Eddie Howe's all about. And as I've said previously, there'll be a lot of clubs now taking notice and thinking, wow, this guy is immense. And especially if we go on and win the Carabao Cup this year, his stock's going to rise even more. So I'm going to see this guy I can't give him any more than that, can I? Because I would love to. But the guy is 10. But I would love to give him $1 million. But yeah, he's a 10.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Always has to stay safe. Thanks, Philip. Eddie, 100. How? 17,000. Actually, let's go. Potter 4 got beasted by steady Eddie's tactics. Absolutely. Going to be born without the games like, well, it kind of is, will be in a way. If this team wins anything with Eddie in all futures, all the whiners will want him at England. It'd be nice to see him regretting writing him off. Absolutely, indeed, yes. Well, that is it for the show tonight, guys. It's been a blast. I mean, gutted again. This is the last one because the World Cup is coming in action as well, definitely. Tin your telly doom, man, says Andrew. We'll come to the end of the show anyways, so there you are. But we'll be covering the England games of the World Cup, so we'll say there will be watch-alongs, the same as like match reviews and stuff like that. So do keep those coming as well. Definitely. Again, if you have enjoyed, please do hit the like. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, or if you enjoy the content, you're not yet subscribed. Please hit the subscribe button because it really helps grow the channel. Hit the notification bell because we'll let you know when I am live or when there's a video being uploaded to the channel as well. Feel free. You can still donate, and feel free to again become a member for just 99p. A month as well, and I will remember to drop the guys' links as well. John Sinclair TV, and of course, It's All Black and White TV as well. I'll put those links when this show is finished. So there you are. Please do check out and subscribe to their channels as well. Great show, Pete, Tony, and John. Thanks so much, Chris. Time to get the England top suit. Yes, cheers, lads. Says Andrew. Klopp looks like Klopp looks like the Easter Bunny.
Just needs a bonnet.
Yes, he does. Oh, Jesus, man. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. Until next time, we shall see you all later. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you later. Good night, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.